we have taken a look at the tier of quarterbacks in this conference and what it looks like. Now, let's talk about Tennessee and Alabama. So when we looked at that tier, we had Tennessee in the starting over tier. We had Alabama in the breaking in a new starter tier, but we don't know which one is going to be, but we think they got talented guys. I think Tennessee has some talented guys as well, but I literally believe none of them played. Two of them didn't play not now part of college football last year. And the one that does have college football experience wasn't even a full-time starter at Colorado last year, Ryan Stubb. So let's look at Tennessee. Let's look at Tennessee. Okay. Tennessee. You're looking at Tennessee quarterback situation. You're looking at guys in this room that have not played a lot. You have the 4-star recruit in George McIntyre, 6'6", 205-pound guy, 4-star recruit. 2024, he I don't think he registered any stats last year in 2025. So you have to go back to his 2024 high school year. You have to go back and look at that. You look at it, 2,700 yards passing, 66% completion, 17 touchdowns, 9 rushing touchdowns. You move over to Faison Brandon on the end. This is the guy that has not played a single snap of college football because it is his first year. Even though he was a 5-star recruit from Greensboro, North Carolina, 6'4", 215. They got a lot of big guys in that room. I think they are the two biggest guys. Faison Brandon and George McIntyre are the two biggest guys in this room. But you look at his high school careers, over 6,000 yards completion, 72% completion percentage, 79 passing touchdowns, and 21 rushing touchdowns. So he has dual threat capabilities in this that he can use in this offense. Then you get to Ryan Staub, the only guy in this offense in this quarterback room that has some level of college football playing experience. But you look at the stats. You look at the stats at the bottom of the screen. 427 yards last year, 3 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 54.5% completion percentage is what he had as playing last year for the Colorado Buffaloes and Coach Brown. You look at this room, Marcus. What does this tell you? When you see this, what does this tell you in your gut? What are your feelings about this?
I want to say this, clear my throat for it. They're about to run the football. That's what they about to do in Tennessee. I'm about to sit back there and run football. But I think like we seen last year when we died at Hypo and what he could do, that he could figure out a way to make a bad quarterback situation not look so bad and actually look pretty good. So I think during the spring, hopefully one of those quarterbacks shows flashes. Mostly I'm leaning the quarterback that transferred in from Colorado, but if they show flashes, I feel like the majority of the time they're going to run the football anyway, take shots when necessary, and you might end up seeing Brandon by the end of the season because he's a bigger quarterback that can run the football. They probably going to utilize his running ability by the end of the season. So with Tennessee, like you said, man, their situation is probably worse than Vanderbilt's, man. That's why I said
really.
Because at least you know what you get with Jerry Curtis. You know you got a true freshman. Because you got a true freshman that's gonna go through true freshman roles. With this situation, if your quarterback don't pan out, the quarterback that you depend on or you pick this spring don't pan out, you're gonna have to go to a different quarterback that you're gonna be playing Russian roulette with quarterbacks.
So okay, I ask you this question: do you think this is all right with what we know? Is this going to be Josh Heupel's most difficult offseason of trying to figure out who the quarterback is going to be? Because
we said it last year that we thought it was going to be very difficult. But the reason why it wasn't is because he went and got a UCLA starting quarterback, and they just switched quarterbacks out, and the situation ended up panning out pretty good for him.
But to that point, Joey Aguilar did not play it down for UCLA. He did not.
You're right.
2 years at Appalachian State. That's the difference. That's the difference why a lot of people felt a little bit more confident last year because Joey Aguilar had stats in college football.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
He had 2,000-3,000 yard seasons at Appalachian State. He had years where he was 20 plus touchdown guy. Not a lot of interceptions, even though his interceptions increased his second season at Appalachian State. So there was some sort of, optimism about what it could be there, because it was a guy that had some college experience, had significant college experience. When you look at this Tennessee quarterback room,
That's why I had
there
said
is no
what I
significant
said.
quarterback experience.
This is gonna be tough. This is gonna be one of the toughest ones for him, because last year we said it's gonna be tough, but this one definitely about to be tough.
Okay, all right. So we just talked about Tennessee. Let's bring up Alabama. Okay, so if we say that about Tennessee, why aren't we saying the same thing about Alabama and the two guys that they have?
Because those two guys have been sitting in the system, patiently waiting on the opportunity.
Okay. All right. Well, let's look at it. Let's look at the guys. Alabama. Here it is. You have Austin Mack and Keelan Russell is who you have in this quarterback room. You're looking at Austin Mack, redshirt sophomore, 6'6", 235-pound, big guy. He was a transfer from Washington, as we stated before, four-star kid, four-star transfer guy. You look at the 2025 stats at the bottom of the screen, 75% completion, only 228 yards, 24-32, 2 passing touchdowns, no interceptions. And he got some significant playing time, really, in the college football playoff against Indiana, but that game was out of hand when he played it. So there was really nothing significant he can do in that game to help them come back, because it was already so far out of hand. You move over to Keelan Russell, the guy that everybody is fawning over, the guy that everybody loves, the guy that everybody says is the future. He's the Elite 11. He won the Elite 11. You know, he's this super talented guy, 5-star recruit out of high school, 6'3", just under 200 pounds. You look at what he did in 2 games last year, 73% completion, 143 yards, 11 of 15, 11 for 15, 2 passing touchdowns, no interceptions. So you have 2 talented guys here. So my question to you is, you got 2 guys who have not played significant college football in this quarterback room. What we just said about Tennessee, we literally just had Tennessee in the red, as in a worse position. But why aren't we saying the same thing about Alabama?
Because these guys have been in the system, like we just said. This guy, Matt, got to play in a playoff game last year and showed great promise, but the game was already out of hand. But, I will say with the boys' job at Bama and how quick those Bama fans turn when things are going bad. If Mac looks bad on the field, because I'm pretty sure they're going to start Mac in the beginning of the season.
I got a feeling that's going to happen too.
If Mac looks bad on the field, these Bama fans will go crazy screaming Russell from the mountaintops of let me chill out.
Lake Minnetonka.
Lake Minnetonka.
You already know. From the mountaintops of Colorado to the hills of Tennessee. Throughout the plains of Texas.
Please put in.
From sea to shining sea. That's what they'll be doing.
But yes, we all know how that situation will go. And I think the boy will be pressured into putting that guy in. And I think he'll succeed. I think Russell is the better quarterback from what I have seen. I think.
Really, you think Keelan Russell is the better quarterback between these two guys, right? But we haven't seen much of him between the two.
Man, dog, you seen him in high school, boy.
Okay,
when we started this, like we had to start watching tape on these guys. So he was one of the guys in the beginning that him and my boy Deuce, that we started watching tape on first, and it was a battle.
But here's the thing, though: Keelan Russell was a 3-star recruit at one point in time. He was literally a 3-star recruit at one point in time, if I'm not mistaken. Alabama fans, correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, but if my memory serves me,
I think you're correct.
If my memory serves me correct, this was a 3-star recruit at one point in time.
Be sharp, boy. Be sharp. Had posted on clip, boy. Hey, bro, got a cannon.
All right, man. But I still want to ask the question, though. With what we just stated about those 2 particular rooms, we literally just sat here and said that this Tennessee room right here, this Tennessee room has no significant playing experience at the quarterback position.
Nick,
that's what we said.
Then
we also came back and said, and the numbers tell us this Alabama room has no significant quarterback experience in playing college football. But we literally just said Alabama's room is better than Tennessee's.
Yeah, and sad to say, Nick, they can go with either quarterback and still have a better season than Tennessee.
Wow. Okay. All right. Okay, man.
Well, I would say this. No. Hold on. Let me, because we live. I would say they'll be projected to have a better season than Tennessee. I think Heupel, this right here, like you said, will be one of his proven seasons. And as last year, because I really doubted him, I was real down on Tennessee last year. I think he might prove me wrong again.
Okay. All right, man. If I give you this, if Josh Heupel can come out and win with one of those quarterbacks this year, Josh Heupel moves up. I'll say this. Josh Heupel will move up past Lane Kiffin for me. Even though I think him and Lane Kiffin are right here, right now, he will move past Lane Kiffin for me. If he comes out and wins with one of these quarterbacks in this room.
All right, question. How many games he got to win? Give me a bar.
Tennessee fans saying he got to be back in the college football playoff.
No, I don't think saying. Negative. You just said this quarterback situation makes you a legit coach.
But how does he get back to the college football playoff though? You said they're gonna run the football. They got one of the better running backs in college football in Deshaun Bishop back. He was 1,000-yard back last year, if I'm not mistaken. They can lean on the run game, like you said, take their shots down the field. It's what I think, man. So